So I said in my last helpful video that we're gonna talk about humidifying clarinets and also reeds. So to humidify your clarinets, you're gonna need, damp it party! Some dampits. I prefer dampits over any other expensive, fancy humidifying thing just because they last a really long time. They're really simple and you can just put them in your case and forget about them, really. To humidify your reeds, you're gonna, also you're gonna probably need a towel. This one was a birthday gift from my little brother and it has my face on it. So you're gonna need a towel also. To humidify your reeds, you're gonna need your reeds, a baggie, and a piece of sponge that I'm going to acquire now. So you'll still be able to use the rest of the sponge for when you do dishes. And the green part can just come off like that. So now we've got our little piece of sponge. So once these bad boys dry out, obviously check your case every day. If you can feel them inside and they're not squishy anymore, it means that they've dried out and they're not holding any water and therefore they're not humidifying your clarinets. So when they are dried out, you want to just wet them again, dry them off, and put them back in your case. And if you're practicing every day, which you should be, that shouldn't be, hard to keep up with. We're gonna wet them. And then you're just gonna wanna squish out the extra moisture. And because the outsides are rubber, they do last a really long time. I have had these for years, and these were the first humidifying device that I had, and because they were my first humidifying device and because they last so long, I haven't needed to get another one. So you're gonna take your towel and you're just gonna dry off the outsides. Maybe give them another squeeze. And there you go. They're dry, but they're wet on the inside. I mentioned this in my clarinet hack video, volume 5000. I think it's 3 that you can use an orange peel also. But this is gonna last a lot longer than an orange peel. So basically what you're gonna wanna do is you wanna get this wet, like right now it's moist, it's not dried out, but there's a piece of hair that, and what you're gonna wanna do is just take a bag, put your reeds in here, and put the little piece of sponge in, seal it up, and you're good to go. I've squished a little piece of sponge down into one of these holes, and I just close it, and that keeps the humidity in the case, which is then resealed by the bag. You can do it any way you want. I broke the little clasp on this, so it's just open. So I'm just gonna put both of them in a baggie with a little bit of moisture. And yeah, I know you can buy little packs that are, more or less this. This is the cheap DIY version of doing it. You steal a piece of sponge, you put your reeds in a little baggie, the moisture is trapped in the baggie, the sponge is going to dry out and release the moisture into the bag, and then tomorrow when you practice, because you practice every day, you'll just re-wet the sponge. You don't want to put it in there soaking wet, just a little bit of moisture is fine. And you, don't think that putting a bigger piece of sponge in here is going to make it even more humidified. You just need the corner of a sponge. Basically, I put in, a quarter of the entire sponge before, and I put it in there and I opened up my reed case and they were black with mold. So I wouldn't recommend that. So that's how I humidify my reeds. Doing this in the winter, especially because there's no humidity in the air and the heat is on, doing this in the winter is gonna just keep your reeds in constant good shape, basically. There's a lot of different options out there for humidifying your actual instruments. I would definitely humidify wood clarinets. Like if you have a wooden clarinet, definitely get that humidified. And I use these size dampits. One of them is, well, you can get smaller ones, and I feel like I had smaller ones before, but basically I have a wooden bass clarinet and I have 2 wooden clarinets. So these are bassoon dampits technically. So I put one in my bass clarinet case, and I put one in my double case where I have my B flat and my A clarinet. Basically, I've talked about this before too. They've got little like sponges already inside, and you basically are gonna wet them, dry off the outsides because you don't want your clarinet like getting wet. We just need a little bit of moisture. And I'll show you how I arrange my case in a way that keeps my clarinets humidified. You know, don't worry too much about humidifying plastic clarinets, but for wooden clarinets it is absolutely essential. So let's go have a dampit party. So these are my clarinets. Take a look at the what's in my bag video to find out what kind they are. I'm gonna stop caressing them. I just like put my swab over my clarinets just to put a barrier between the dampit and the instrument. You know, we want to like make sure that everybody's all tucked in and lovely and nice. And then I just put a dampit down next to one and next to the other one. They're all snuggled in and humidified, and these are going to release moisture into the case to keep the wood nice and humidified. And when they dry out, because all of the moisture has been released and dried out by the heater that's on, then you just re-wet them, and that is how I keep my clarinets humidified during the winter, and also my reeds humidified during the winter. As you can see, it's really simple. It only takes a few minutes. Like, this video is only going to be a few minutes long. This might be my shortest video ever. This is just a really easy step that you can take to make sure that all of your reeds and all of your equipment is taken care of. I'm gonna do the same thing. Oh, you know what? I just realized I put 2 dampits in here. Okay. This is my bass clarinet. Covered it up. Put a dampit in here. And if you don't have a reed case, like I don't have a reed case for my bass clarinet reeds. They're just in a baggie. There they are. I just take another little piece of sponge, and I stick it in there, and then the next time I practice, which is going to be tomorrow because I practice every single day, I will wet that reed again, or I will pay attention to when it's dry, because when it's dry, it's not doing anything. So there you have it. If you have any tips and tricks about humidifying your instrument, leave them in the comments. I know that there are other methods in order to do this, so I always end up multitasking when I do that, when I talk. If you use any other products to humidify your instruments, leave them in the comments below. We can get a conversation going. We can give people more ideas on how to take care of their equipment and have this beautiful clarinet community in the comments. And that's all I've got. So, you know what to do. Go practice.